All right, go ahead, Levi. Here we go. Ready? Oh, that was close. I think I tipped it.
We're good, we're good, we're good!
Shoot the score, not to shoot. Good job, Gracie. Here we go, mechanic. Boom. Boom. Come on. Good. Here you're good play. Yes! Here you go, Sam. Pick it up. You got it. All right. Give him that. His game wing.
Come through, come through. Up, up, up.
You're good, run it out, run it out. Good, way to finish, run it out. You got it, guys.
You're good, come on, run it out.
Oh my bad.
So what got you into lacrosse initially?
My dad did. We moved to North Carolina, and he wanted me and my brothers to play lacrosse, so he put us all in on like a little travel team in our area.
What does it mean to you to be a part of that first ever women's lacrosse, official women's lacrosse team for your senior college?
To me, I think it's like something really special to be a part of, and it's really exciting to like basically make history here at Emory Henry by being a part of the first women's lacrosse team.
Okay. What are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm just looking forward to improvement and seeing how we do this season. Obviously, it's our first season, so it's going to be a little difficult. We have some new people on the team, but we've already improved so much from the fall, so I'm excited to see how much we improve.
And I know you're a captain on the team, so how have you embraced that leadership role? You know, we've got a lot of girls on the team maybe don't have as much experience as you do, so how have your years of playing lacrosse, how has that went into your leadership style?
I try to like just give them a lot of tips and stuff like that, and if I see something that they're doing that's a little off at practice, I'll be like, hey, maybe try this instead of that. And I just really try to give everybody a lot of pointers to improve them.
Fire, reset. Fire, reset. Fire, reset. Fire, reset. Fire.
Good. Go.
I will never wear pads.
Right there you go. Boom. There's that.
Yeah, you got it, good.
Step that way. Oh, that's fine. We don't have the same people. There you go.
Don't overcommit, don't overcommit. Now slide, now slide.
Good. Offense, you should pull.
Good.
Keep going, Grace.
Nice. That's it, Maddie.
Good. Back.
Did everyone feel good?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Sweet.
Gonna go last on 3. Somebody who does not have tonsillitis. I ruled out Jordan.
I can do it.
Wash on 3! Wash on 3! 1, 2, 3, wash! I had never played lacrosse before my freshman year in college. Yeah.
Wow.
I played soccer for the entirety of my life, and then I went to Anne Arundel and I played for their team, and then I sprained my ankle, so I was in the training room, and like my best friend's little sister, all she does is play lacrosse, so she would give me her hand-me-down shirts. So I was in there, and then the head coach comes in and was like, "Wait, do you play lacrosse?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Do you want to?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And so we start working on field, because he was just gonna have me be like a midi or something, and then he realized that we didn't have a goalie for our season because it's like hard to come by, because any school will take a goalie. Like most people run with like 5 on their roster. And so he was like, "Would you want to try?" And I was like, "Sure." And he was like, "I'll tell you if you suck. Like I will not let you do it if you suck." And I was like, "Okay, like that works." Like I like that he's brutally honest. And he was like, "You don't suck." And I was like, "Great." He was like, "Would you be willing to keep going with it?" I was like, "Sure." And yeah.
How are you bringing from your time in community college? How are you bringing that experience and your leadership style for leading this team?
I think it's really easy for me because I only have 2 years, so I did start from the bottom and come up from here. So it's very easy to understand like their frustration levels with themselves, and like just being like, "You're fine. Like you are completely fine. Like just don't worry about it. Like you're 2 weeks in, some people are, or like you're 6 months in. It's like you're fine. You just can't focus on what just happened. You have to worry about what's coming next."
How do you come into this season? How are you preparing to go up against those teams that are faster and, save a bunch of shots?
I don't know. I kind of black out during games, so it's like I just kind of like the adrenaline starts going, and I think that's for everyone. Like once you're in there, you're in there. You can't really like step out and be like, "All right, I don't want to do this anymore." Especially for like goalies, like mentally it's draining, and you just can't do that to yourself. I just think everyone has to communicate and understand that like this isn't going to be a picture perfect like season. It's going to be hard. We're going to take a lot of goals, and that's totally fine. It's just what's going to happen. But I think if everyone just stays positive and continues to be all in on a program that's brand new, we'll be fine.
What does that mean for you to be one of the the pillars of Emory Henry women's lacrosse? You get to be on the inaugural team. What does that mean for you?
I think it's a mix of exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, because it's like you're going up and it's brand new. Everyone has their opinions from team to team, school to school, but it's cool to like base us here and be like, we're the first people to ever do it. We had the men's alum from the club team, and they were like, "This is just awesome. This is great." They were all super friendly. And I think it's just going to be a lot of fun for especially the next couple years, just growing it. It's going to be hard. People have to like want to be the ground for something that's coming, hopefully bigger in the future.
And what are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm kind of excited to go on the road. I never we went to like New York and like stuff like that at Anne Arundel and like a couple other places and played some D2 schools, but I've never been to like South Carolina, North Carolina, and like I think bus trips are fun. Like I think everyone being on the bus and like really getting to know everyone on the team, because like it's like they always say you can't pick your family, like you can't pick your teammates either, but like they're your family at the end of the day. Like you're gonna spend countless hours with them. So I think that'll be fun.
Real quick. Hurry.
Mr. Jordan, yeah.
Good, George.
That line was a little confusing. Go hard, go hard. Hold, you got it, you got 1v1. Finish. Good. Good. I like it, stop.
Go ball!
Coach. Good talk. All right, Siri, shoot that. Good. All right, three, that's the right play. Well, let's get it back down. You're picking the one. Once the ball is up here, we stay three. Sure. You got it. The number one. Let's hit by number. Here you go. Good stop. Good, go. That's not there. Go down. Good. Good. Go. Rotate. Yes. Go. Go. Yes. Going down, go. It's not a play. It's just getting her out. Sure. You got it. The number one. Let's hit by number. Here you go. Good stop. Good, go. That's not there. Go down. Good. Good.
Switch.
Good, not too tight. Good, that's there. Good. So yeah, interesting story and atypical, right? So I played baseball for part of my college, and then I actually played afterwards in men's leagues around the Baltimore, D.C. area, and I really liked it. I played for about 10 years. And my older sons just naturally played baseball because that's what I showed them how to play. You know, that's my dad played and my grandfather. So then my youngest, being in Maryland, we lived in Maryland where you can't, swing a stick without hitting a lacrosse goal. He wanted to play lacrosse. So I got out in the backyard and I was like, we could do this. And so I went to his games. So yeah, honestly, Brandon, I wanted to be able to be a good instructor. I knew I didn't want to just, if you ever go to a boys or high school lacrosse tournament, there's the same thing that dads say, well-intentioned, but it doesn't really do much. Like go, wheels, it's just like this hustle. So I wanted to do more than that. I wanted to be able to say, hey, his name's Jack. I wanted to be able to say, hey, on the ground ball, this, that, or the other thing. So around the same time, I was doing journalism, and I started, I think because I was in Maryland doing journalism, and it's such a big sport there, I was getting journalism assignments. So I felt, you know what, if I'm gonna do this well, I gotta get down on the field, I gotta play. So you can't do that around, Emory, Virginia, but around Baltimore, you wanna play in the men's league, you can do it. So I stopped playing baseball. I would say I came late to the sport, went from there, coached about 8th and 9th graders, then there was a small Christian high school right outside in a very good lacrosse league that I became the head coach there. Then I went down to Montreat College, continued on, and here I am.
Coming here to Emory, Virginia to help start the women's lacrosse program, what does that mean for you to be able to come and be one of the building blocks for the future of this college and for the future of the women's lacrosse here?
Yeah, it means a lot. I love history. We were talking prior to this interview about baseball in Baltimore. I'd written a book on that. So it means a lot to me. I mean, I think it means more than the typical person. Because you can get, in starting a program, you get really caught up, and I am really caught up in times in, okay, do we get the goals, do we get the balls, do we get the sticks, do we get the uniforms, right? And you get really caught up in that. But as you step back, like we had our scrimmage 2 weeks ago, and I said this to the players, it's like, this college has been around since 1836. You're the first team that walked out on the field playing women's lacrosse in a scrimmage. Now, we haven't had our first game yet. So it means a lot, and I want to imbue that in the players, right? That, you can't say to them, if we were Syracuse, you could say, okay, well, we've won X amount of national titles on the men's team. But you can say, here's an opportunity to create history. I love this college is beautiful. It's got a great history, statesmen coming from the college and things like that. So to take those things, combine it with lacrosse being the oldest North American sport, right? I mean, it goes back, varies greatly in how long it goes back, but 500 years, and you're taking this historic sport at a historic college and you're making history. So it's hard not to like that.
So with, we talked about starting the program. This is our first season. What are your expectations for the upcoming inaugural season of Emory Henry Women's Lacrosse?
Yeah, that may be the hardest question, right? Because if you can go into a first season kind of resigned to struggling, and then you could go into a first season with the goal of we're going to go 16-0 and win this thing if it kills us, right? And neither one of those is probably where you want to be, right? I know the lower end is not where you want to be, and I'm not sure there's a lot of value of the higher end. So I would say the goals for our team is to constantly improve. Like, we've had scrimmages, we've had good results, we've had poor results, and I don't go like, okay, we won, up here, and then we lost down here, and I'm just saying, okay, are we making progress? And actually, just prior to this, we had filmed, and are we building? So, answer is we want to be progressing. I think as we get through the season, one of the things we'll bring up a lot is, okay, as compared to last game, how did we do? I'm competitive, and the players who play in college, you have to be competitive, right? I mean, you have a lot of people that say, okay, I played lacrosse or baseball or football in high school. This was more of an activity. My friends did it. I liked it. But when you get to that college level, you have to compete. So, long answer, but our goals are to have our individual goals and our team goals, which will be the biggest goal, just to improve consistently and really build this program, right? There are, and you may not know this, there are programs within women's lacrosse that they get off on the wrong foot, and it's always a struggle. I mean, it just remains a struggle for a long time. What we want to do is, which I think we're doing a good job of, we have 3 excellent captains that convey what we see as our vision, and we're just going to build and build and build and build. I'm not going to go like this up and down during the season. So I will tell you more about the season after the season.
I've been out, I've seen you guys practice. I filmed a little bit. I've noticed that you're very active in practice. You get into the drills and, play with the girls, whether you're a defender, an attacker, whatever you need to be. How important is it for you to get in there and be able to show them what, kind of what they need to do and be active? How important is that in your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, it's important because you use some of these terms that extend across several sports. One of them is a read, right? You're making a read. If she does that, you do this. And sometimes being on the field, like we have, without getting too far into the plays, but just you hear, read pass, RPO in football. We definitely have plays where if it presents this way, you do this. If it presents that way, you do this. And what I think is helpful for me is when I step, we'll say offensively, when I step into that role, I'm able to see how that play is going to look. And then I could say, hey, when you see that player, whatever, be it they take 3 steps that way or you see the back of their head. That's a big one in lacrosse. You see the back of their head, you cut. So for me, offensively, when I do it, it helps me, particularly with the new players. Like for some of the experienced players, they have an idea, right? The newer players, they're really excited when you have a play that involves them and they have a role in that play. They really want to get into it, which is nice. Like they're excited, they want to make that cut. But when you have to illustrate the timing piece of it, for me, if I go in and do it, I can then describe to them sort of this is what you're going to have to see, and then you do this, as opposed to my standing over there and saying, hey, you got to see that and then do this. So it helps.
You have so many athletes from just different backgrounds. Some have played lacrosse, some haven't before.
Yeah.
You've got athletes coming from other sports like volleyball and soccer.
Yeah.
How important is it, and how do you get everybody on the same page in practice and now leading up to our first game?
Yeah, it's that maybe is the greatest challenge right now. I mean, there's a challenge to starting a team. That's probably the greatest challenge. But I would say that span, and what I've started to do intentionally towards the end of, or the beginning of this semester, is I have tried to segment that. Like I've had Zoom calls where I get the dry erase board. And the reason it's a Zoom call is just so we can find a gap. That gap might be 7 o'clock at night where they don't all have to come down to the King Center. But basically I have to acknowledge that difference, which I do, and say some of these people don't know this, and I have to segment them without, once we get an assistant, I get to kind of get the assistant and say, hey, you do that. But right now, I just have to be really being intentional, Brandon. I have to say, I realize I have a different group. And then I have I just started last week, an email, which, your primary source of communicating with players is not email. But I was like, you know what, if I just kick out like 10 terms, send them an email, then that's something they could digest. And then when we get back on the field, it's just something they now have in their background a little bit. So rather than being out in the field with somebody who's standing there because they already know this stuff and then teaching with someone else, I'm just getting creative. We have a lot of freshmen, we have a lot of new players, we have some experienced players, and the way is just intentionally be aware that there is a mix. And then hopefully you get them all together. I talk about chemistry, and this I could have brought up first. I said to him, what is chemistry? You never see a championship team come off the field. You never see the Pittsburgh Steelers win the Super Bowl and say, well, you know what, we didn't have chemistry this year, but we made out okay. I was like, any single team that ever wins, one of the first things, they're gonna say we had chemistry. So what I say to our players, particularly in this environment with new players and experienced players and freshmen, is chemistry for us is paying attention to your teammate. Meaning, are they fast? Are they a slower player? Are they a taller player? Are they better with their right hand or their left hand? Because we can't have any chemistry if we don't pay attention. We're just thinking, okay, this is what I gotta do, right? Now, obviously there's chemistry off the field, which we just had a pizza party. You want to get that chemistry off the field. But yeah, the chemistry on the field, we have to take these different groups. And it's gotta be really intentional for us because we have such different groups that we have to say, that's what our chemistry is. It's paying attention to our teammate and what their strengths and weaknesses are and supporting them and pushing them on. That makes sense.
Obviously, we're all excited. Everybody's ready to get the season started. How do you feel and how do the girls feel? How excited are they to get out there on Wednesday for Truett McConnell and then their first home match ever here on Friday against Warren?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. And I went back to my first day, I think it was November 14th, 2022. And I just said this the other day to the team. On that day, our team was me and my laptop, right? And then eventually it became a recruit, then another recruit, and then a Zoom call, and then whatever. But, and then with each passing thing, as we get balls, as we get to know each other, it becomes more and more real. And why did we do all that? It wasn't so we could practice for the next 5 years. It was so we could have these events. So yeah, it's really exciting. It's really challenging. I don't underestimate that. But it's particularly as a startup. We didn't just come out of last year and then go to a new year. We're like, we didn't exist. We were a concept, for a long time. And now we get out and go to play. And I want them to play with a love of the sport. Whatever sports you played, the ones that you loved, that's what you probably did better at, right? The ones where it was drudgery, you kind of found, okay, I'm not going to play that anymore. So I try to model for them a love of the sport, and I want them to be excited about this game, and I'm excited, right? I'm not checking boxes like first game check, second game check. It's not how I operate. So.
I'm just saying, I'll do my job.
You ready? Good. Stop, David. Have fun. You guys are making history. It doesn't matter, right? This is for you for a lifetime, right? This is forever. Nobody says, no, you didn't play in that first game. Sorry, right? This is forever. Put it in your pocket. Play with joy. Play hard. Play as a team, and we're going to have a great day. Okay? Let's get a captain break this down. Justice, here we go.
Got it? What's on three? What's on three? 1, 2, 3, 1!
You know, my spot is we don't jump off a bridge and we don't have a parade when we win. There's somewhere in between there where you learn from it and you build upon it, and that will always be where we are, right? I mean, we're going to build higher and higher, but we are not jumping off bridges and we are not throwing parades. And if you keep it right in between those areas, we're fine, right? Okay, all right, let's get a wasp on 3 and let's go over to see our parents. Here we go.
Wasp! Wasp on 3! Wasp on 3! 1, 2, 3, wasp!